Hello and welcome to Show of Hands Hangout number 63. Um, uh, Firefly will be back in a minute. He is checking on a sick child, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So why don't you introduce yourself and assuming that everybody went to prom, tell us about your prom dress. How about that? So Noel, you go first.
Okay, well, I'm Noelle, or I'm a nag on the app. I'm, if you want to call me that. Um, I did go to prom. I did not have like a flare dress or anything, kind of simple. Black skirt, lace, white lace top, cut out in the back. Pretty fun. So, pretty much it.
Excellent. How about you, Bama?
Okay. Well, I'm actually going to do video, but I had to do the cartoon. User Ron's, this is totally for you because of your comment. But anyway, I'm Susan. I'm BamaGirl on the app. Um, and prom, okay, so I went to a private Christian school and we didn't actually have an event called prom. What we
Hmm.
had was junior senior banquet. It was basically prom without dancing and a meal instead. So, yeah. But my dress was black. The top was black velvet with blue sequins, and then the bottom was black taffeta, sweetheart neckline, with little ruffled shirts because I mean, a little ruffle up here because hello, it was like 91 or 92 or something. So
Yeah, the sequence alone
Preach it,
announced
sister.
what a time frame that was. Um, I did not wear a prom dress.
that's
Um,
good.
uh, I did, however, have a white tux with a pink tie and cummerbund, which was very poorly thought out, being as my date had flaming red hair, and it,
Oh,
um,
Oh
really, really, and I didn't even realize how stupid I was until like 15 years later that my mom said, "Hey, look at these pictures I found." I thought, "Holy crap, that looks terrible." So,
no.
yeah,
Wow.
it was
oh, bless her heart.
it was not a good thing. But prom was on my 18th birthday, and I knew I was going to break up with her the next day anyway. So, it wasn't that big a deal. Wait,
Wow.
we started dating at spring break, which was like 2 months before prom, and then I couldn't break up with her right before prom. That would have been wrong,
That's
right?
That would have been a little crusty, yeah.
yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah. So I did the honorable thing, and I broke up with her after prom because that's what gentlemen do.
There you go.
Always a
We
gentleman.
get up and we go to the prom with someone that we really don't like, and we just clash with their hair. So
Okay.
that's
Awesome.
that's what we do. So. Um, Well, thanks to Jenna Brooklyn, as always. She has provided us with a large amount of questions, and we'll go ahead and get started with that. We'll save the naked man pose for when Firefly gets back. Um, and who knows, he may be preparing for that right now. So, so what is your favorite restaurant? Susan, you go first.
Um, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go with Mason Dixon Bakery and Bistro, which is a local place at home in Huntsville because it's dedicated gluten free, so I don't have to worry about getting sick when I eat there or whether things are going to be cross contaminated or stuff. And the food's good. So,
So Mason Dixon,
Mason
I,
Dixon.
I would think that would be up towards the north where you are now, because that's where the Mason-Dixon
Yeah, I
area.
know. I don't know why she named it that, but
Okay. Well,
they're
what
not.
kind of food? What kind of food's at Mason-Dixon?
Well, originally it was a bakery, and then she expanded to have a bistro. They serve breakfast, they serve lunch, and on the weekend they do dinner, like white tablecloth kind of dinner stuff. I've had when they first opened, Dad and I went, and we had a big uh, yeah, my brain just left me. Tray of like meat and cheese and stuff. I can't think of the word for it, the fancy word for it. And then we had we both had steak, but they have like fancy pecan crusted chicken and that kind of stuff too. So just lots
Cool.
of various things. And they
Cool.
change with season. They do seasonal farm to table kind of stuff. So
Oh, cool.
Um, since you're back, we'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. And what was the question? Oh, if you went to prom, describe your prom dress.
Yeah. Um, I am Firefly 5 on the app. I'm Guyton in real life, and I did go to prom. I actually went to a couple of proms, a few proms. Just funny because I wasn't really I wasn't really into the idea, but it worked out that way. I was
Yeah, I
dating
guess when you're a
someone.
stud, there's just nothing else you can do.
No, I was dating someone at the time, and she went to a different school than I did. So, um, like she went to a private Catholic school, and we went to my prom and we went to her prom. But then her her best friend had a prom and lost her longtime boyfriend slash definite prom date like a couple days prior. And this was, I mean, it worked out really nicely. This was still within the window where I had rented a tux and I still had it. And she's like, hey, can you take my friend out? Yeah, yeah, I could take your friend out. So I ended up going to that one too.
That's a good girlfriend that go ahead and finds you other dates. That's
exactly.
you see, ladies, that's the example as to why I broke up with my girlfriend the day after prom, so
There
that
you go.
some other friend wouldn't have
Yep,
to
there it
palm her
is.
boyfriend off the
hmm
date. So,
That's right.
so that's
I
something you
think
missed.
it's
I told him that I broke up with my girlfriend the day after prom because I really couldn't stand her. But I didn't want to do it before prom because I didn't want you to have to take her out. So,
right. Thank you, thank you. It was a busy weekend. Uh,
well, and the fact that you were like 4 years old at the time,
That's
it
what I
wouldn't
was.
have really worked out for you.
no, it's it was fun. And in my experience, which is fairly limited, but I feel like everyone's prom experience is fairly limited. You don't really get too many rounds of that. Um, so in my fairly limited experience, breaking up the day after is probably the better move than a couple days
Hey,
before.
well,
I would have sided with you.
I am just a gentleman, so I even paid for her meal and everything at McDonald's, and no, we didn't really go to McDonald's. Um,
That's
and
a
our
quick side story. My uh, well, our leading pastor just left our church, but shortly before he did, he was telling a story, and he said, and I thought this was really funny. He goes, my good friend and I in high school, we were both dating these girls, and they were best friends, and we both decided that we didn't want to be locked in for the summer. So, so we decided to break up with them, and being, the brilliant gentlemen we were, we decided to do it on the same day.
oh, of course.
Oh,
And then he keeps going with this because then we decided, you know what? Let's do it at the same time. We can synchronize for whatever time. He goes, and then somehow or other we got carried away with this and we said, let's use the same words.
Oh gosh.
All of the girls want
oh,
friends.
please say you didn't.
And this is, you could hear the collective groan of our church service, which was, probably 3,000 or so people. And to hear 3,000 people groan at exactly the same time, it was impressive.
Oh,
So I just wanted to share that.
Nice. And the sad thing is, you probably couldn't tell me the rest of the sermon, but doggone it, that story is going to stick with you for a long time.
yeah.
I have
No,
no idea
he's
what
a
pastor was,
great
but
speaker. He's a great speaker, and I can pretty much remember every word for the last however many years. It's pretty incredible.
That's awesome.
excellent. Well, we went ahead with our first question from Jenna Brooklyn, your favorite restaurant, and Susan was just about done with hers. So go ahead, Guyton. Well, did you like actually introduce yourself and stuff? But anyway,
Yeah, I did. My prom dress was gorgeous.
that's what.
Um,
I just hope you showed some cleavage so that everyone could enjoy it. So.
if you're gonna go anyway, you know.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Uh, there are a couple. I'm gonna go top three because that's
Oh,
easier.
well, go for
Um,
it. It's your
they
show.
are all three local. Um, one of them is a sushi place that our friends own, and it's wonderful. They have very, very good sushi, and the people are great, and um, the prices aren't bad as that goes. Um, they, I would tell you the name, but they just changed names fairly recently because there was this frivolous, really petty lawsuit. I think petty is the only thing you can say from some small sushi place that had the same name somewhere on the East Coast, and we're in Michigan, so
That's crazy.
for them
Yeah,
to,
stupid East Coast people.
well, apparently it was something or other where they looked up, and because the website, and they were whatever, they were getting redirected. I don't know. So I don't actually know what they're called now,
The
but
sushi place.
yeah, but 3 months ago they were called Haru. Um, then there's a place right near where I live um, that's fantastic called Food Dance, and they do all local food, everything's locally grown, everything's whatever. They've got a place just outside of town that does big heated greenhouses through the winter. So they've got homegrown tomatoes in March in Michigan,
Wow.
which is fantastic.
Wow.
And they do all sorts of stuff. They do a bunch of Mediterranean. They also have the single best burger I've ever had, um, and it's really really good food. And then there's one more place that's a few towns over. There's this really tiny little nothing town where you would expect, like this is a place that's probably about the size of Edwin George's place that he was talking about. Um, I mean, the town has a population definitely of less than my high school, and somehow or other they have a very small little hole-in-the-wall Vietnamese restaurant. It's a couple of people, and they decided Vietnamese street food belongs in a small rural town, and it's
Why not?
free. It's outside of major cities. It's definitely the best Vietnamese food I've had. So
Wow.
those would be
Yeah,
mine.
I've never had the Vietnamese food. So is it just cockroaches, or what exactly do they eat?
No, so there are a lot of soup and noodle dishes and such, but probably my favorite one, because Vietnam has a lot of French influence, so you get a lot of like these weird fusion type foods. Um, but I would say, in the spirit of things that we do on this show anyway, Ron,
Uh-huh.
uh, I will challenge you for next week to go out to
Find a
go
me and my big mouth.
Yep.
Okay,
to go
let's
out and find a banh mi.
I don't even, we're in the South here. I don't know that we actually have
You do.
Vietnamese restaurants.
I'm
There's a
sure
Vietnamese
that
restaurant in
you can.
Huntsville. So.
I'll even
Yeah.
type.
Do they sell fried chicken? I mean, let's see.
Say that again. I'm sorry. My
Do they
headphones.
do they sell fried chicken at Vietnamese? Because that's all we eat down south.
They do not.
Um,
They do not.
But
do you-
Ron, a banh mi is going to be kind of like a barbecue sandwich with slaw.
Banh mi, it's a little bit. It's like different deli meats and such. And then pickled vegetables.
But it does have kimchi on it, right?
It doesn't always have kimchi on it. Once in a while, but kimchi is more Korean than Vietnamese, so
Okay.
there are places that do it, but most of the time, no.
Gotcha. That's why I was thinking the slaw would
Right.
translate for Ron, but never mind.
But on like a half loaf baguette.
Okay, so there are some restaurants that are Chinese/Vietnamese, it appears. Can I
They
just go to a
probably
Chinese
have it.
restaurant, pretend like I Vietnamese?
They probably have it, but it's fantastic. It's like
Ron, do you have Red Bull in your area?
Yes. I didn't know that was Vietnamese though, but
Red Bull isn't Vietnamese, but they have Vietnamese there.
oh wait. Red Bull soda. We have Red Bull
Yeah, Red Bull.
soda.
I know they've got one. There's one near Elon University. I know that, but
Oh, this is a restaurant that you're talking about, Noel?
they've got something.
Huh.
Okay, so you're telling
Well,
me
in
I've
North
got
Carolina, there's a small chain of Asian restaurants called Red Bull, and they do everything from Japanese to Chinese to Thai to Vietnamese too. So,
okay, Red Bull, Bowl, not Bull. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, I
yeah,
misunderstood there. The
Red
iPad.
Bowl, like a bowl. So,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
So if I find one of these fictional Vietnamese places, exactly what do I need to order?
banh mi. I typed it in the side thing. It's if they've got any Vietnamese food, it's pretty much the guaranteed one.
Okay, on me.
It's fantastic. It's right up there with the Reuben for best sandwich of all time.
Okay, all right. I have no plans for lunch tomorrow. Vietnamese it is.
There you go.
Challenge accepted. There
Excellent.
you
This is much less subjective than something like Vegemite. This is more like if you like sandwiches, it's hard not to like this.
go. Okay, all right. I'm on it. We will. I got 12 places here that came up in my city in Vietnamese. Of course, some of them are like 30 miles away, but some are in High Point, Noel, instead of Winston-Salem. But we'll go on a great Vietnamese hunt tomorrow and see what all we can find. It can't be worse than Vegemite. So.
No, I think you'll enjoy it. It's very, very good.
That's what you said about the Vegemite. So anyway,
No. I said you've got to try that. I didn't say you'll enjoy it. I just said you've got to try it. It's not something you can describe very well.
Okay. All right. Well, my favorite restaurant is the Melting Pot. Is anybody familiar with the Melting Pot?
Mm-hmm.
Love melting pot. Mm-hmm.
Love the Melting Pot. And the wife doesn't like it, so I don't get to go very often. And it's 30 miles away. So when you are still paying for babysitters, that really increases the amount that you're paying for dinner. So you're paying like $60 for babysitter and then $100 for dinner. But it is by far and above my favorite restaurant ever. Even though you stink for like days, it's so worth it. So.
They have a drink there that is like my favorite drink of all time. But since that's Jenna's question, I'll wait.
Oh, okay. My favorite local, I guess, would be the Dario. It's a local chain. I think they've only got like 4 of them, but they just opened one up down from my house, and I'm there probably twice a week. That's where I would have had lunch tomorrow, but no, now I get to go find Vietnamese. So
You won't regret it.
that's what I hear. So we will give a full report next week.
You might just like it enough to get another one for next week's show.
That's true. I may get it to go next Thursday night just to show you what bone meat looks like.
I would have to go get one too because I would be jealous watching someone eat it.
How about you, Noel?
Well, I think I might take Fire's approach and kind of go place by place. So, I haven't really got a favorite here in Utah yet. In Arizona, my favorite place was a little spot called Joe's Farm Grill. I took Mama Palma there when she came out to visit, and everything is farm fresh. The farm is right back there in the back, and so it's just, wonderful fresh food and just so good, so good. They do everything from barbecue to salads and burgers. So good. And
She was very impressed with it too.
yeah, and I think that my son Jesse put on quite a show for her too. I think he even fell off the bench if I remember right, because we ate on the picnic tables out back. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, and in North Carolina, there's a little place in Raleigh called Hayes Barton Cafe, and in the daytime it's just sandwiches and stuff like that, but nighttime they really do a great dinner, and they've got a chicken pot pie there, which is just to die for, and it's big enough for two, so Stat Gat and I always share it. And then, you're so full you can't eat dessert, but one of the things they're known for is their cakes, so you have to take the slice home and look at it for a day before you can think of touching it. And I mean, it's just so darn good. So those are two of my favorites.
I like it.
So.
All right, I'm passing off the hosting duties to you.
Oh, so, okay.
You're on. Because I'm trying to menus to make sure that I can find this stuff on SoHHO.
I was gonna say it's pretty cheap too. Let's see. What was your favorite holiday as a child? I think we should start with Ima.
Oh, Christmas. Definitely Christmas. So, with a name like Noel, that is my time of year.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be.
So.
How about you, Bama?
It's actually Christmas too. Mom and I were very into Santa, as a matter of fact, even as an adult, until, well, now it's just me. So I guess the rule can still apply. If you don't believe in Santa, you don't get anything in the house. So, yeah. But yeah, definitely.
Ron, were you Christmas too?
Yeah, of course. It's hard to beat Christmas as a kid. I got a funny story though. I may have already told this story, but my 13-year-old several years ago for Easter, we had given our kids some type of stuffed animal, Webkins or something, and it was a dog that we gave my son, and he asked, "What kind of dog is it?" And I don't remember what kind of dog it was. I'll say Dachshund. And I said, "Well, it's a Dachshund." And he said, "How do you know?" And I said, "Well, because," and this was for Easter that we gave it to him. And I said, "Because that's what it said when I bought it." And as soon as it was out of my mouth, I realized what I had just done. And my son was still young enough, it went right over his head. But my daughter, who was probably like 9-ish or 10, you could just see the entire world stop. And I looked at her and I said, "Shut up. Do not say a word." And I totally kicked my son out of the room. And he's like, "What?" I said, "Don't ask questions. I just need you to leave." And you could see the tears starting to well up in her eyes.
Oh.
So we dealt with that. But then that night, as we were saying our prayers and putting her to bed, she looked at me and she said, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, those are all my favorite people.
Oh.
And so her just completely ruined all of her childhood innocence all in one bill swoop. So, but
Oof.
it's a fun story, you know. So I kind of blew that one. Father of the Year. There you go.
Darn.
Her favorite people.
Well, at least they're all you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know if that line would have played so well.
Yeah. Hey, they're all me. That means I'm your favorite person, right?
Not anymore.
Not right now.
Oh.
Oh,
Right now, like as an adult with kids, I think Christmas is probably my favorite. But as a kid, holidays were quite a bit different, and so the holidays were more dependent on who was able to go do what, and everyone's always busy on Christmas, with family stuff. So as a kid, I think Halloween was probably my favorite. No one's busy on Halloween. Um, Christmas started to be really, really cool once I got old enough to order takeout Chinese on my own. Then it was really cool.
What better way to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ than by a big bowl of Mushu chicken? You know,
I'm saying.
you can't go wrong. Because I
How do you
think
know it's Christmas if there aren't fortune cookies?
that's what the fourth wise man brought was sweet and sour pork. So
It took them a little longer, but you got there.
they came from afar, you know.
Yes.
So they were hungry.
Exactly. Stop for dinner.
Stop.
I think that was in 2 Corinthians. Actually, that passage was in 2 Corinthians. So.
I knew I read it somewhere. My kids just didn't really do the Santa Claus thing at all. Like they just, my wife and I talked and said, what are we gonna do as far as this goes? How far are we willing to play the story to keep things going? And then my boy, who was like 3 at the time, goes, "Did you know that some people in my class from this or in my class from that or whatever it was, it might have been in a swim class, whatever. Did you know that some people in my class think that there's somebody who breaks into their house in the middle of the night to bring presents and gets to like all of the houses in the whole world in one night?" No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the son of a physics professor right there.
I felt so bad about it too. I was like, no, you should run with this for a little bit. But the older of my 2 daughters figured it out independently at roughly the same age, and my youngest is not quite 3 yet. But I have no doubt at all that by this next December, I'm going to be told that it's a fraud. That the whole thing is one thing. And we stayed at this hotel, so we got a thing to get a couple nights stay at a hotel in Wisconsin. I think it was in December, early December, it must have been, and they had a Santa Claus there, who would do the whole, oh, what do you want for Christmas and whatever thing, with kids, and he would give them it was like a little cup and it had a puzzle inside, just like one of those 24 or 36 piece puzzles or whatever it was. And my daughter, who was, well, she still is. It was December, so it wasn't that long ago. So she was 4.5, and she looks at me and she goes, "Do I have to pretend that I think this is real to get one of those puzzles, or do you think I can just get one?" I go,
That's awesome.
"How about
Oh dear.
you go up and you can do your whole thing, and everything will be fine as long as you don't look and say, 'Come on, guy, who are you trying to kid?'"
Right.
Um,
Don't announce it to the crowd.
so she walks up and he goes, "What would you like for Christmas this year?" She goes, "One of those puzzles." And that was it. That was where he goes, "Oh, well, here you go." And you could see the next kid, in line looking like, did she get it right away because it was what she asked for? Or am I going to get whatever I ask for?
Yeah, this could be the best Santa ever. And if so, this kid really didn't reach high enough. A puzzle?
Well,
Ask for a horse or something.
yeah. Well, my younger daughter walked up right afterwards and goes, "And what would you like for Christmas this year?" She goes, "Candy cane."
He's like, man, this is an easy family.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. So,
Well, around Christmas, I always look for Santa at Walmart. Not because he sets up shop at Walmart, because that's where he shops. So that is the local Santa Claus, and we talk to him every year, so we don't have to go wait in line at the mall.
There you
We
go.
find him at Walmart, and Santa Claus actually lives in Stone Mountain, Georgia, on a farm, and with Mrs. Claus, and it just so happened there was no line at the mall the day we saw him this year, so we got a picture in costume and out of costume.
nice.
Awesome.
But he is in character the entire month of December, and he is awesome. He's been
Wow.
doing it for years. But you didn't know that Santa rode a hover round. Yeah, he's not as young as he used to be.
Um,
So Santa, he's about 6'4", and he's the best Santa ever. So, and I
Wow.
call him Santa at Walmart. It's pretty cool.
I actually go to church with a guy who does the Santa gig too. I think he's shaved. I was going to show you his picture, but he's taken his Santa pictures off of his Facebook page, so never mind.
It's out of season. There you go.
Yes.
There was probably a question, right?
Whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I try to be good about this, and sometimes I just lose track of what's up.
It's okay.
Last week was particularly rough.
But we still went like 2 hours. So, I
I
mean,
was
It's
thinking
true.
we all went late last week.
yeah, we
It did go late. We were having a lot of fun.
yeah,
And there were some fun
Yep.
tangents too.
kept building that wall 10 feet taller.
It's
So,
true, and that was before the whole make Donald Trump again.
yep.
What's your least favorite drink? We should probably qualify that a little bit to like something that actual people drink. What's your least favorite drink that other people actually drink? Ron, you go first.
Well, I would probably have to say, and this is going to sound strange, but beer. I've never really had it, but it's one of those things that someone says, here, it's an acquired taste. To me, that says you're not going to like it. So I just never tried it. It always smelled like horse piss, and so I mean, I'll have me a nice apple cider or something like that, but to just drink a beer, no. And the sad thing is, my wife's uncle was on the board at Budweiser, so
Oh,
It was everywhere at the family gatherings, but no, I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna go beer, and not any specific type of beer. I'm very, anything beer. No, not gonna do it.
Ask.
Okay. All right. How about you, Bama?
Well, I was having a hard time thinking of anything until Ron said beer, and I thought, well, you know what? I really have only tasted it a couple of times, and I don't like it. But the other thing I had thought of was grapefruit juice. Actually, I don't like most juices. They either tend to be really sweet or something, but I used to have a family member that loved grapefruit juice, and I never could stomach it. So beer
Well,
and
I
grape.
hope you're not Southern Baptist, otherwise you can't take communion. Because that's all drink for communion is the grapefruit juice.
No, grape juice.
Oh, grapefruit juice. Yes. Yes. I'm on it now.
Grape juice I
Uh,
can do. Grapefruit, not so much.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I like grapefruit juice a lot.
See,
I also like beer.
you lose all. You have no authority when it comes to taste. Just I'm making that statement right now. Your taste buds are just broken. That's what it is.
are you sure you want to taste the banh mi then?
Well, I'm committed. I don't
You
want
have to.
but you know what? The Americans didn't want to storm the beaches of Normandy either, but they sucked it up and they did it. And so, Vietnam, here I come, so to speak.
Woohoo!
How about you, Noel? What's your least favorite drink?
Well, I'm gonna go with Ron and Bama on the beer thing. I quit drinking beer when I was 3, so I really don't have a whole lot of frame of reference. And the other one I thought of was eggnog. Yeah,
Mm.
yuck.
Kind of gross.
I just can't stomach eggnog. So
Uh, I am just fine with the taste of eggnog if it's not that like the really thick whatever. I don't like the texture.
yeah, for me it's the taste and the texture. It's like a double whammy, and
Mm.
yeah, my
I'm
son will just
weird.
pound
I
it
don't
down.
like
It's like,
I don't like eggnog, but I like boiled custard. Ron, have you had boiled custard? It's a southern thing.
No, not had boiled
Okay.
custard.
you can
Well, it's
tell
very
because you said bold.
yes.
Yeah, bold.
So
Like a
yeah,
bold egg.
boiled egg.
Yes.
Um, so it's very similar to eggnog, and they only sell it at that time of year. But I don't really know what the difference is, but they taste different to me. So
No, I've not had any boiled custard for
thank you
those
for
Yankees
enunciating
that may be
boiled.
listening. Yeah, that is spelled Boiled. Boiled.
Like you don't say it that way normally.
Ah, Southerners.
That's right. Gotta love us.
I love y'all.
Mhm.
Um, Least favorite drink, any kind of diet soda. I think that sugar substitute tastes absolutely awful. I'm not a big soda drinker in general, but diet soda is worse. Like it's too much.
Well, and when you run marathons, that's all fine and dandy. But when you hit 40 years old, the diet soda becomes a necessity. I'm sorry to
Well, but
say.
I don't drink regular soda
Well,
either.
you don't think so, though.
Uh,
I don't drink regular soda because it's not something that I really enjoy, but diet soda goes from something that I kind of nothing, like I kind of nothing regular soda, but I actively dislike diet soda. There's that weird aftertaste type of whatever. It's not something I like at all.
mm, I
So,
pretty much live on Diet Mountain Dew. So
mm,
again, I don't think we can be friends.
we'll be okay. We'll make it.
Shucks.
I'm like I drink a ton of water, and then I do like grapefruit juice, and I like dark beers. I don't really like lighter beers very much, but darker. Once you get into like the chocolate and oatmeal stouts and stuff, I'm all about that. Just I think if you can see through it, it almost doesn't count.
Now, I'm guessing you don't do alcohol.
As far as like
Yeah, you, Noel.
okay.
Yeah, I don't. I don't drink alcohol.
How about soda? Do you drink soda?
I am a Diet Cherry Coke loving girl.
Mmm. Did you do
Yeah.
cheer wine when you were in North Carolina?
I did drink cheer wine in North Carolina. Yes. Yes, I did.
Is
Not my
anybody?
favorite, but
What is
someone
it?
did bring it when I was in Arizona. Someone brought some from Georgia. I'm like, oh, I do want to have one. So, yeah.
I've had cheer wine.
What is this? Wait, cheer? Cheer?
Yes.
Cheer
Cheer?
wine.
Cheer.
CHEER.
It is like the soda of North Carolina.
Okay.
Like L8 is the soda of Kentucky, which is really good, by the way. If you have any Kentuckians listening. It's kind of a Mountain Dew run. Kind of tastes like Mountain Dew.
Yeah, cheer wine is it's a cherry soda, right? Honestly, I don't know because I don't drink it.
Yeah, it is kind of a cherry. I would still rather have a Diet Cherry Coke or, even a Cherry Coke. I'd rather have that than a cheer wine, but not bad. My boys liked it better than I did, but, kids are not as particular, so.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much geared towards us down south. I don't think much of the country knows about it. It's kind of our little secret.
Kind of is.
It
Most Westerners
sounds
have
like
never heard of
something
it.
I might not enjoy very much.
Probably not.
I would try it if I
Probably
could
not.
find it, because
Yeah,
that's the spirit of what we do.
that's what we do.
But it sounds like I mean, like really for me, soda goes about as far as ginger ale. Anything past ginger ale, I'm like, this is really sweet. That's not what I'm into.
Maybe I'll mail you a cheer wine. How about that?
There you go. I don't even know if you could get it here. I should find what the next question is, and then I'll look during. Oh, what was your first alcoholic drink?
My first, I can tell you when my first alcoholic drink was. My first drink was on my girlfriend at the time, her 21st birthday. So I was 23. Growing up in a Baptist pastor's house, it was never in the house, never saw anyone drinking it. It's no big deal if you wanted to drink it, but it was never in my house. So I never had a desire to try it. But I'm guessing it was some type of frou-frou drink like a Zima or a Bartles and James or something like that. That's my guess. I don't remember exactly what it was. But for a long time in college, I would drink Zimas, and I never actually went to a bar and ordered a Zima because it's kind of hard to keep any semblance of man points when you belly up to a bar and say, "Hey, bartender, can you get me a Zima?" It's not really what you want to do. So I didn't really do the bar scene in college. But yeah, it was my girlfriend's 21st birthday was my first drink.
I'm going to guess Guyton probably doesn't even know what a Zima is.
No idea.
No.
You're so young.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm in a different part of the country too. Maybe that's not a thing everywhere.
No, it's an age thing. But I've
It's
never
an age
had
thing.
one. But it is an age thing.
Me either, but it's an age thing.
But to tell you how successful it is, it's not been around for a while. So.
Hey, I found a place that's no, that place is closed. Oh, okay.
Cheer wine.
It looks like there's a place about 15 miles away, a grocery store that might sell it. Maybe. I haven't heard of this grocery store, and I don't know if they still exist, but the chain of grocery stores still exists, so it's entirely possible. Okay, so I might be able to find by next week Cheerwine.
Cheerwine. Okay.
That's awesome.
We all have our homework, or at least the guys do.
You two do.
We need to find homework for other people. Rainey has said she'll be on next week, so we'll have to find some kind of food for her to get.
Okay.
Something soft with all those braces, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, probably chewy caramel would be not okay.
Probably not a good.
Abba Zaba is right out. Yeah.
Yeah, she can have applesauce, some exotic applesauce or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Squeezy applesauce in the pouch.
Yeah, my kids love that stuff, especially the ones where they start to mix apple and something else. The apple mango one.
Yeah.
That stays around for about 30 seconds in this house.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
So, first alcoholic drink. Ima, you said you were 3? Oh, that was your last.
Yeah, actually, I was.
That was your last. Was it your first also?
My biological father was not the parent of the year, obviously. And he drank a lot, and he called me his bud buddy. I was a very tipsy toddler. Yeah. But when he left when I was 3, that's when I pretty much was cut off beer. So, yeah. So, probably a little young. So.
Not the style of parenting that I traditionally go for. However, I do have a great picture of my daughter. It's not the style of parenting that I go for, but I do have a great picture of my daughter at about 3 years old with trying to drink out of a Budweiser, but the can was not open. But you don't know that by the picture, but it is great. I just can't let my parents see that picture. So.
Father of the year. Yeah.
How about you, Bama?
I guess it would have been probably around 3, 4, somewhere in there, and it would have been a shot of Jack Daniels because that was cough medicine at our house.
Oh, okay, sure.
So,
yeah, there was probably a certain amount of.
By the way, so it was actually a shot of Jack Daniels with a Coke chaser, I guess.
Okay.
Another tipsy toddler.
Yes. I had lots of pneumonia and bronchitis growing up, so apparently they thought that was the best way to.
Or at least you said you did.
Yeah, maybe I would have had more too. Yeah.
My throat hurts, Mom. Pour me a shot of Jack.
I hated it, actually. That was actually one of the biggest deterrents to me drinking when I did become of age, was everything tasted like cough medicine.
Oh.
No, mine was probably. I don't know. I grew up with it. I grew up, like, when I was a kid, I was in Western Europe, and it was just something that happened. You'd have some wine with your food, you'd have some whatever, and it was always small, controlled amounts. But the first drink that no, I really don't have a first on that at all. I can't even do the whole, like, the first drink that I remember going out and getting, because even that was no, even that was probably any random time. I always knew people growing up. I always knew people who either had a place or had access or had whatever. So it was never something, like, I never drank much um, or got like tipsy or drunk. I've never been drunk. I've had
Mhm.
whatever, ample opportunity, but um, no, it was always available, and it was just never a temptation, I guess. Do you? What's that?
My son had speech class today, and I got a text from his speech teacher, and she said that they were looking at a picture where a man was dressing a dinosaur, and my son's 7, and she said, "Well, Luke, why would he be dressing a dinosaur?" And she said that very seriously, he looked at her and he said, "Maybe he's just drunk." So, not obviously that's influence of his mother, uh, not from me. So that when you said drunk, that's immediately where my head went, was a man dressing a
Speaking,
dinosaur.
I
Yeah.
realized that when I mentioned the drink earlier, she actually asked for our least favorite drink, not our favorite. The one I was going to tell you about, Ron, the next time you go to Melting Pot, is a blackberry sage lemonade.
Oh,
It is
that
the
sounds
best
good.
thing ever, and they will do it alcoholic
Mhm.
or non-alcoholic. So,
Hmm.
but it's awesome. Okay, sorry, I derailed us, but just had to tell you.
No, we
Gotcha.
weren't that railed.
Yeah, it's good information anyway.
Do you enjoy beaches? Ron, this would be your time to make a plug for North Carolina.
Yes, I assume she's talking about land location and not the Bette Midler movie, as it is a lowercase b for beaches. Um, love beaches. Um, love the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's where we spend 1 to 3 weeks there every summer. So we'll actually be there in a couple weeks for spring break. So big
Nice.
fan of the Emerald Isle is where we normally go. My in-laws have a house out there, and um, she has 2 brothers that have houses out there too. So they have big boats, and I get to go out and fish and uh, eat the fish that we catch. It's good stuff. So yes, I love the
Mm.
beach.
I have a question. Are there two Emerald Isles? Because I thought the Emerald Isle was down at Destin,
There's
Florida.
an Emerald Isle, North Carolina. I don't know
Okay.
where there might be another Emerald Isle near Destin. Where is
Okay.
Destin?
Destin is near Fort Walton. It's in Florida.
Florida.
Hmm.
I'm on it. I'll check.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves. Go to the next, whatever.
Do you like beaches, Emma?
Love beaches. I grew up in Southern California. Grew up near the beach. My brothers and I used to ride bikes down to the beach, and then of course, once I was able to get a car, surf rack, I used to surf. Love beaches. So, yep, love
There
them.
does appear to be an Emerald Isle, Florida. So yes, but
Cool.
that's not the one I was talking about.
Emerald Isle, North Carolina is beautiful.
Yes, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not for the young college group. That's more of a Myrtle Beach type of thing. But Emerald Isle is more for the old people, the families. That's what we do. So,
Nice.
how about you, Susan? You like the beach?
Oh yeah, I have always loved the beach. Um, don't go in the ocean too much anymore after I was attacked by a sand crab, but um, that was an experience. But I love to stand at the edge, especially when the tide's going out, because I love the feeling of the sand going out from underneath my feet.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Always loved that. So, yeah.
And ironically, isn't that where the sand crabs kind of hang out? Is
Yeah,
where
this was a
they go to
large
surf?
sand crab that was hanging out near a school of jellyfish, and I was trying to avoid the jellyfish. I was on a float, you know, and I was trying to avoid the jellyfish. And when I kicked to swim away from the jellyfish. Apparently, I hit this large crab who decided to attach to my ankle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, saltwater open wound from the crab, not a good combo.
That
And
sounds unpleasant.
I was like 9, so yeah.
So you've been ruined from swimming at the beach since you were 9?
Mhm.
Oh.
That is so sad. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make you feel better.
Okay.
That crab is probably dead now. So you're okay to get back in the water.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I was just
Comforting
looking
words
to
with
see.
Ronderman.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
That's what he's here for.
I was just looking to see if there was an Emerald Isle in Michigan too. There's an Emerald Isle hotel.
All right.
It's on Beaver Island, which is Michigan's got 2 peninsulas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got the Mackinac Bridge that connects them. If you were to go, it's like about 40 miles west of the bridge. I mean, you're out in the middle of Lake Michigan, the middle of northern Lake Michigan, but that's Beaver Island.
Are you going to show us on the hand?
I can't.
Michiganders in the hand thing.
If this is Michigan and your upper, this is weird doing it backwards. If this is Michigan,
Yeah.
and your upper peninsula is like up here, then
Yeah.
Beaver Island is here. So it's neither here. It's like here.
Yeah.
So
Are you flashing gang signs at us now?
The lower peninsula thing works really well because you can always
It does.
Oh, I'm here. You know, there's
Yeah.
no ambiguity to that at all. But then people try and include the upper peninsula, and you're like,
Awkward. Yeah.
it kind of works, but it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It's just a continuation of the same idea, I guess. But I saw this thing where apparently people in Wisconsin, or there's some kind of a thing in Wisconsin where they call themselves a mitten too. And I was looking at it and trying to figure out how in the world Wisconsin looks like a mitten. And I think if you really force it, it can, but I don't know.
That might be pushing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think you have
Have to
really
ask Kim
want it.
Bobby.
Yeah.
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 Go Pack. No, that was A-Veg. Sorry.
It was. But she would, Kim Bobby would agree with it completely.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I like beaches. I like beaches a lot. We've got pretty decent beaches here, especially being that we don't have an ocean, but we've got, some pretty big lakes. And
A little bit.
they're nice. If you go far enough north, Lake Superior is about as clear of a lake as you could ever hope to find. It's a shame that it's so incredibly cold all the time. But it's nice. It's nice. Have you ever been to Miami? Why Miami, I wonder?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can tell you it's a sore subject with me today because,
Oh, really?
yes, as we were talking before we went on air, my daughter was up for a national commercial. She'd gone through the audition process and was one of the finalists, and I found out today that she didn't get it, and it actually films next week in Miami. So my bag was all but packed to head to Miami next week, and so now I'm pretty pissed off at the whole state of Miami or Florida. So not that they had anything to do with picking the other girl, but anyway, I got.
They didn't first. They come up with an Emerald Isle. Now it's this.
I know they're just trying to take all the joy away.
Strike two, Florida.
So, But the good news is there's good community
Yeah.
colleges here in North Carolina. So even though she can't pay for her own college at a real university, we'll send her to, for Psych Tech. So that's our plan B right now. But I have been to Miami. I went the night after we got married. Our connecting flight to Jamaica was in Miami, and we missed our flight to Jamaica. So they put us up in Miami. So I spent a wonderful night in Miami and then woke up early the next day and went to Montego Bay. So that's my Miami experience.
I think if your only experience with a place is on your wedding night, it's got to be a pretty good experience, right?
Well, yeah,
This is true.
there you go.
Yep.
It's where dreams are made of. So.
Yeah, you are. Your track record in Miami is pretty solid. I would
It
imagine.
is. Yeah.
Isla, have you been to Miami?
I've flown through Miami. I went on a foreign exchange to Argentina, so I went through Miami on my way to and from. But that's it. I never left the airport. And I was already grateful I could speak Spanish while I was there. I did not hear a lick of English till I went back through customs. So, yeah.
Have you been to
Well, I have
Miami?
never been down in Miami. Ever. Not even the airport.
You didn't miss anything.
I think Orlando is the furthest south I've been in Florida. So.
I don't know Florida geography very well. I've been to Orlando and I've been to West Palm. It turns out I've got I don't know, cousin of one of my parents, something like that. I don't know, some kind of relation where I don't really understand how it works, but we visited them once.
I have friends in West Palm.
It was nice. I didn't like the guy, but the place was nice. He was not a good person to spend time around. He was probably just fine, but as a kid, he was very boring. Um,
So right now is a good reason not to go to Miami. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know anything about. I've not been to Miami, but I'm not particularly interested in going to Florida in general. Not my thing.
It's a special brand of
Did you go to
humidity down there, that's for sure.
Yeah. Did you go to Disney? Is that why you were in Orlando?
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was a long time ago, and I honestly don't really remember. I remember that we went, but the only thing that I really remember about the trip is that I'd gotten a concussion the day before, and all I really remember about the trip is that flying with a concussion is painful.
Yikes.
So I don't know. It was probably a good trip for the rest of the family. I don't know.
Well, I did not go to Disney when I was in Orlando.
That is so sad to me. I
I
love
was
Disney.
there for a youth rally that I was in a Christian drama troupe and we were performing at a youth rally. And so I went to the youth rally and we did go to SeaWorld, but didn't go to Disney. Yeah.
We've been to Disney several times with our kids, so
Never ever.
we try to go every other year, but they are having to sacrifice this year because I'm going to Mexico for my anniversary, our 20th. So the kids are getting screwed.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So
Sounds
sucks
fun.
to be a kid when your parents are, married 20 years. So 'cause
These
they're
are the
going
sacrifices we make. Yeah.
That's right. My kids have to
Hey,
sacrifice their Disney
congratulations,
trip
though.
so that I
Yeah,
can go
congrats on the anniversary.
So,
Johnny Boy asks, since we're talking about visiting places, so hi Johnny Boy, it seems you're probably watching then. Has anyone been to his beautiful state of Texas?
Woohoo.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, I have.
I have to.
Yep, I partied in Dallas with the Southern Baptist Convention because when your dad's a pastor, that's what you do for vacation. You just follow wherever they want to take you, and the church will pay for it, and you get to hang out at the pool while your dad's at the convention. So I went to Dallas, but
I went to Arkansas with whatever it was, and we ended up like just dipping into Texas for it. It wasn't long enough to count as going to Texas. It all kind of looks the same if you only go 5 miles in or something.
This is true. Well, I went to Lubbock when I was in college for a World's Missions Workshop. It was at Lubbock Christian University. So,
Where's that?
and it's a conference, kind of like what Ron was talking about, except for it's for people who are going to do missionary work and that kind of stuff, and trying to recruit people to do missionary work. And
Oh no, I mean where? Where
oh,
is it?
where's
Lubbock, Lubbock, I don't know. I have no idea. It's in North Texas, I think.
I was gonna say, so you weren't driving.
No, I was riding a bus. Riding a bus with a bunch of people from college. So, yeah, I don't know. I do know that
There
the
you
bus
go.
broke down when we were in Houston, I think it was. It was a large city when the bus broke down. We had to go to a bus hub and get a new bus. That was eventful.
Yeah.
Have you heard of or been to Brazoria County?
no,
No.
Not a clue.
and that's
Been to
actually
Austin. I drove from one end to the other, but no, I don't know what the county is. So,
I'm gonna look up where this is.
but that drive across the 10 is long.
Oh, it's got a population of 300 something thousand. I mean, that's fairly big, right? It looks like it's just south of Houston, which actually doesn't help me out very much.
no. I
Okay.
recognize the name as well,
Well,
but
So that sounds like hurricane territory right there.
Yeah, it looks like it's on the go.
Yeah, no. Haven't been that far south.
Oh, I imagine, Johnny Boy, that it's very nice. I don't know. It looks like a nice when there aren't hurricanes. Like it looks like it would be. I don't know. I got nothing. We don't have hurricanes, and we're far enough. We're sheltered enough by the Great Lakes to not have um, tornadoes very often where we are. We just don't have weather other than snow and rain.
you just get shut down 10 months out of the year with snow. That's all. We don't have much
No,
weather.
you know what? We had no snow on the ground earlier this week, and I mean, then yeah, one night we got another foot, and um, almost all of it accumulated. Seriously, it was like 10 inches of accumulation in one night. They closed the local universities,
Wow.
which never close for anything. Like we're usually good at handling snow. It's we've got practice, but this didn't go well. Besides college, have you ever lived with a roommate?
Well, I
Nope.
did. Not for too long, but a little bit after college. I didn't get married right away. I was 28 when I got married. So, out of college a couple years, so I had a couple of roommates. So, yeah.
Do you like
I,
it?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
How about you, Bama?
I was going to say I kind of am now. Kind of, sort of.
True.
Because I'm still staying with the friends in Pennsylvania. And the plan is to stay here until I get a job, hopefully, in the northern Arizona, southern Utah area. So,
Why there?
I have been for several months been feeling very drawn to Arizona for some reason. Um, it was for a while there. Literally every movie, TV show I turned on, somebody was going to Arizona. It was like, dude, really? Okay. Um, and after researching weather and stuff, I would kind of still like to have 4 seasons, which is why I'm leaning toward northern Arizona. Um, but I love the idea of not having humidity, and I have enjoyed the lower humidity being up here as opposed to Alabama. Um, and I feel like I need to make a change after losing both folks, and now I've sold the family home, and I don't really have a reason that I have to stay in Huntsville. So just
Except you'd have to change your name. You'd have to be
the what?
Sona.
Arizona girl.
Arizona girl.
No, because I'm still going to be an Alabama fan, and I'm still from Alabama. No, username will not change.
Okay.
Because it actually, the reason that it was
I
BamaGirl,
hope you
honestly,
come west. I really hope you come west.
the reason, seriously, the reason it's BamaGirl is because I'm an Alabama football fan. That's in Alabama. That's what female Alabama football fans call themselves, are Bama girls. So it really was not about locale, but about sports allegiance.
Okay.
Not Auburn.
That's right, not Auburn.
Uh, um, Ron, have you lived with a roommate?
No, no. In college I did 3 or 4 years with roommates. Then I moved back home to my folks' house and saved money and immediately got married. So went from my parents' house to the dorm to the apartment with roommates during college, back home, and then got married right after she graduated college. So nope, no other roommates.
Cool. I got married straight out of college, but I had roommates before college and during. Well, the first 3 years of college, I had roommates, and for a little more than a year before college, I had roommates. It was fun enough, but I'm glad to be done with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
When did you last dance?
Like serious dancing or like joking with the kids dancing? I mean, because I do that all the time.
I think anything counts.
You think
Serious
out?
dancing?
Is that what you said?
I said I think anything counts.
Oh,
Anything
okay.
counts. Okay, well then this afternoon, um, we Uptown funked it up today at the house.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
How about you, Emma?
Last night. Stat Cat took me for a twirl around the kitchen last night.
Oh, very
Nice.
nice.
So.
Emma, are you going to be more recent than this?
No, the last few days. I mean, sometimes I tend to just dance around the house. I don't really remember. The last memorable dancing experience I have was actually probably a month and a half ago. I was at a grocery store at home, and Crush on You by the Jets came on, and I started singing and dancing through the aisles. So yeah,
I got a
I do
crush
that.
on you.
Exactly.
Yep, I'm all about that. I know that song.
I was going to look it up.
Because you don't know that song.
I don't.
It's
I think I was in
a
grade,
Latino
so you probably weren't even
group.
born.
They were one large family
Yeah,
that
it's
had come back
probably
in
true.
the 80s. Um, they
When,
are
when did this come out? I'm going to look.
I was
they're
gonna say that
currently
sounds like
wrestling.
it seems like I'm associating that with junior high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was in seventh or eighth grade, I think. So
they're currently
So like
resting in
mid
a rock
80s
of
somewhere.
obscurity somewhere. So
Let's see.
Yeah, they only had one or two songs.
That came out the year before I was born.
Yeah. Why do we do this? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Some guy
Uh,
can make us feel old.
last week it was Jurassic Park. Now it's the Jets.
Yeah. Were you born before the Jets had a crush on you? That should be your next
There
poll.
you go.
I'd have to add links to that one.
Well, thank you, Firefly, for not calling us Jurassic Show of Handsers, since we're all older than that. So.
Yeah, for real.
hmm
Well, I'm older than Jurassic Park too.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
You're practically one of us then,
Exactly. Exactly. Just wait. Next week I'll have a I wrote it down. One of your southern soda things.
Yeah.
Pure wine.
Pure wine.
A cheer wine, and a banh mi.
And banh mi.
I'll fit right in.
Mhm.
I'm not good at this. Last time I danced was probably sometime today with my girls. With the older of my girls, the younger one is pretty sick, and she was more or less alternating between horizontal on a couch and moving from one couch to the next. It was one of those days. Uh, and Kenna asks, in high school, did you ever go on any sort of trip with your friends, but no parents?
We did day trips to the beach. We'd drive to Wilmington, but not overnight.
Was this the sort of day trip that your parents were aware of, or was this the sort of, no, I'm going to school, really?
No, you see, I wasn't the type of juvenile that at the age of 7 would steal the neighbor's car and go watch a movie.
Amen.
Oh,
They-
movie
I've
theater was a short walk away.
Nobody
I've
here would
heard
ever
of
do
people
that.
like that.
No.
No, uh, I was the good kid. I wasn't the pastor's kid that went wild. So yeah, no, my parents knew where we were pretty much at all times. But yeah, it's about a 2-hour drive from Raleigh to Wilmington, and we went out there and pretended to pick up girls while I was in high school. It's pretty pathetic, to be honest with you, but it's what you do when you're in high school, right?
Pretty
So
much.
That sounds right. Emma, did you go on
Never
friends?
really any overnight trips. Living close to Disneyland, I might have skipped school once or twice in March or February. Gone to Disneyland. It was only 20 minutes away. Other than that, most of the time, if I skipped out, my parents knew, and a couple of my friends and I would go to like different museums and stuff like that. So, but
right, you don't
there's
party.
Disneyland. You can't miss that. So, yeah, not a whole lot. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Is it really considered skipping school if you go to a museum? I mean, you know.
I don't think so. I mean, it was a group of my friends from my European history class, and we would go and look at art.
That sounds
Ooh,
like a field
European
trip
art.
to me.
It's
Wow.
educational. So,
I
yeah.
think
And
I
then,
think if Miss Frizzle
sociology
would
lessons
take
at
you.
Disneyland. What's
Yeah,
that?
What?
I'm gonna say I think if you could argue that Miss Frizzle would take you there, it counts as a field trip.
There you
Yeah.
go. Maybe so. Disneyland could be sociology lessons.
True.
Yeah,
There you
True.
go.
there you go. I would go with some friends to do physics lessons, um, which was really just go to Cedar Point. It was just a couple-hour drive, and it was easy to get to. Um, and we would do like Chicago. That was always a pretty short drive. Um, so those would be day trips. I went with a group of people that didn't include my parents to Australia and New Zealand for a summer.
Wow.
That was fantastic. But
I bet.
yeah, I think I've been on more trips without my parents than with them. They just weren't the sort of parents who traveled like that. What about you, Bama?
I'm boring compared to you guys. If I skipped school, mom usually knew about it. Often she accompanied. Um, and as far as trips without them, even if I did, they were chaperoned by somebody. School officials, church people, something. So, not really. Not like a totally unchaperoned. Mm-mm. And my thing then.
They're fun. If you could go back to high school, I'd recommend one or two of
You
them.
would recommend I do it? Yeah. Well.
It can be a good time. We are about an hour and a half in. We started a little bit late, so it's a little less than that. So I think this would be probably a good place to call it. Um, Thank you for being on. If there aren't any more questions, I don't think there are.
Well, there was one that
We
you
skipped
conveniently
Nene. Yeah.
skipped.
What, really? What I skip?
The one that Nema had.
Nene. Yeah.
Nemi. Yeah,
The naked
the
man.
naked man pose.
Ah, yeah. Well, we've got to ask that. What's your favorite naked man pose?
Yeah.
Okay,
But
well, first, the disclaimer. You guys know the reference, right? It's from How I Met Your Mother. There's like
Mm-hmm.
an entire episode about naked man pose. So,
I did not know that. I didn't watch that show.
yes, was
yes.
it How Much Your Mother? I thought it was Friends.
No, it was How I Met Your
I
Mother.
don't think that was Friends.
It was How I Met Your Mother. I promise. I promise, I promise.
I thought it was Seinfeld, so
Nope, it's
I
right
really
here.
did.
The Naked Man, How I Met Your Mother. Yep. I remember watching the
Nobody
episode. It was a great episode. I just got the wrong show. So, but the theory is what he. So Noelle, are you familiar at all with the Naked Man?
Not really. I didn't watch the show, so
Okay.
all
So
I'm thinking is like, are you talking like Statue of David, the Thinker? I like the Thinker.
Well,
uh,
those actually are some of the options, yes.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
the theory was you go on a date and you get invited back to her place, and while she's in a different room, you strip down, and when she comes back, you're naked. And so it'll go one of ways. Either you'll get thrown out, or you just immediately process to the next part of the evening. And so it happened to one of the girls on the show, and they said, "Well, obviously this has worked at some time before." And so they ended up finding him, and he said, "Yeah, it's worked before. You get a 50-50 shot, so or something
Oh,
like that."
jeez.
That's like the Cliff Notes.
And so
But
then both
There you go.
guys
That was a
decided,
good Cliff Notes.
yeah, two guys in the show decided to try it on the same night. And they cell phone called each other while they were getting ready. And they discussed
right,
what pose they were going to do. And you would see them demonstrating them strategically covered.
yeah, there's the Burt Reynolds.
Nice.
The Burt Reynolds
The
played
Captain
played
Morgan
Burt.
was one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, the one of the poses, like Statue of David or Thinker or something, was one of them, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Yeah.
I have been
I,
educated
I
tonight.
I can
Every
tell you
time I have
I've
asked,
never
I have said,
tried. I've
"Do
never
what?
tried man.
You never
So
tried it."
and this honestly not a phrase I ever thought I would say. But no, I have never tried the naked man. However, having boys, there's nudity around the house, all the time. They're running around butt naked all the time.
Pretty
So
much.
Well, when I have been asked, it has never happened to me. I do not want it to happen to me. Okay? Just putting that disclaimer out there. But when I have been asked, in referencing the show, I said the Burt Reynolds just because it was fun. There. Why
it
not?
it is a classic. Can you really go wrong with the Burt Reynolds?
So what would the Burt Reynolds be?
The Burt Reynolds would be laying down on your side with one leg picked up. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
I demonstrate.
Noelle, you're
No. Okay.
you're of the age that you
I
might.
am old enough, I suppose. It seems like
You know
I
the
can't
reference.
remember what movie that's from.
Well,
One we should be asking is Stat Gat. He's the Burt Reynolds movie fan.
Okay, well,
So.
it's a reference to the way he posed for Playgirl.
Oh,
Yes.
You know, there. I wouldn't have any. He wouldn't have any idea about that either. So. I don't know.
Well, and thanks to technology, there is the Burt Reynolds.
Oh, scary.
There you go. That's the Burt Reynolds. So, be careful what you ask. You just don't get what you ask for. There you go. And you can tell that's in the 70s because there's not a whole lot of manscaping going on there, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
I think.
I think the hangout just got a whole lot of freaky.
Oh man.
And there's a great article here on different celebrities that have done the Naked Man, recreated.
I think Firefly's current pose says a lot.
It really does.
Here's Terry Crews with his version of the Naked Man.
Ron, what in the world?
Oh, and here's
My eyes.
Here's Neil Patrick Harris from the show.
That's the one from the show, yes.
That's the one from the show.
Oh, jeez.
Look, there's Mario Lopez. Oh well. Anyway, there you go. Never thought I'd be on queerty.com, but let's get out of that before the wife finds it. Don't want that to happen. So, okay, but you guys are my witnesses if she does find that on my history. But honestly, honey, I don't go to that website very often. All right. So it's time to call it. I think we've done.
On that happy note.
All right. So we'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. Yeah, I got nothing. Thank you for being on. That's really it.
Pushed the young lad over the edge, didn't we? You're welcome.
It was one of those days. I had very little left mentally to start out, and I think you just pulled the rest of it away. So, thank you again, and goodbye.